mic on, things would work. Good morning and welcome to This Date in History, aka TDH. This show is all about the events that occurred to date in years past, both recognized by other historians, but mainly things we personally find intriguing enough for us to bring to you. The sources of this information come from the smart device application Today in History, What Happened Today in History, Historical Calendar, and the website onthisday.com. For links to those sources and music, anything else potentially interesting, check the underbar, the description below. Anyway, I am Xander, and you. Today is, what is today? Tears' Day? aka Tuesday, April 11th, 2023. Let's jump into the history today, shall we? Starting us off in 491. Flavius Anastasius became Byzantine emperor as Anastasius I, often called the first Byzantine emperor. Wow. Alright. 1241, the Battle of Modi. Mongols led by Batu and Subadi defeated Hungarian King Bela IV in the major battle during Mongolian invasion of Hungary, with 30,000 Hungarians slain. Wow. That's a massacre right there. Moving on up to 1471, we got the Wars of the Roses. King Edward IV of England seized London from Henry VI. That's a big move right there. 1512, Battle of Ravenna. French forces under Gaston d'Ifio defeated the Holy League in a major battle of the Italian Wars. Nobody fights wars like Gaston. 1564, England and France signed Treaty of Troyes. What is the Peace of Troyes? Treaty of Troyes. What the hell am I even talking about? The peace treaty, Treaty of Troyes. The Treaty of Troyes was an agreement that King Henry V of England and his heirs would inherit the French throne upon the death of King Charles VI of France. It was formally signed in the French city of Troyes on May 21st, 1420, in the aftermath of Henry's successful military campaign in France. Alright, so we're probably going to be talking about that again in in 10 days. Wow, I am just not here today, am I? Let's add a link to this Wikipedia, post that down in the underbar of the description below, post-show, of course. Let's move on up to 1579. Venlo joined the Union of Utrecht. Wow, I really can't read today. The Union of Utrecht was a treaty signed on January 23rd in 1579 in Utrecht, Netherlands, unifying the northern provinces of the Netherlands until then under the control of Habsburg Spain. Alright. Gonna add that Wikipedia down here too. So let's see. Badoop, badoop, badoop. Get rid of that. Add this. Double enter. Taskbar U. Because we have 1580 here. Dorinthe joins the Union of Utrecht. And we're going to be talking about that here again in a minute. But first, we're going to go up into 1612. We got the last burning at the stake in England. Edward Rapin for heresy in Lichfield. Wow. So we spoke about the last female executed in England, which was like 18 something. But this was the last public burning at the stake in England, at least. Dang, for heresy, no less. 1713, Great Britain, Spain, the Netherlands, Prussia, Savoy, Portugal, and France agreed the Treaty of Utrecht. France ceded maritime provinces in North America to Britain. So it had some meaning over here on the Western Hemisphere. You know, like political documents are very powerful. 1750, Jack Slack retained champion of England boxing title, defeated Frenchman Jean Piet in 7 rounds in Harrison, England, acknowledged as the first international prize fight. Alright. So, interesting. All the way back then. 1783, hostilities formally ceased in the American Revolutionary War. Alright. So, that's when officially, hostilities are over. Good. 1814, Napoleon Bonaparte abdicated unconditionally, and he was exiled to the island of Elba in the Mediterranean. I don't know why I'm talking about a Frenchman and a very bad Italian accent, meatball. 1831, the 12th century Lewis chess pieces were exhibited at the Society of Antiquaries of Scotland shortly after their rediscovery in a sandbank on the Scottish Isle of Lewis. Alright. Those are some cool chess pieces. 12th century Lewis chess pieces. Let's check them out here real quick. I want to see the full set, if they exist, or at least. Well, cool. Let's bigger that here. Come on, give me a bigger picture. Those would be fun to play with. Like, those are some really elaborate chess pieces right there. Let's move on up here. 1853, steamboat ferry Jenny Lind boiler explosion killed at least 31 passengers in San Francisco Bay, California. Well, that sucks. 1865, Abraham Lincoln urged a spirit of generous conciliation during Reconstruction. Yep, we're all in this together, you know. 1868, the shogunate in Japan was abolished. And yeah, I think this is too bad Sohan's not here to help confirm or deny. But The Last Samurai, the movie, and I think there might be a book, I'm not sure. But that's when the last the last samurais were fighting for their honor and everything, and industrialization and modernization was threatening their way of life, and nothing stops the tide of progress, not even samurai. So moving on up to 1876, Benevolent and Protective Order of Elks organized in New York City. Benevolent and Protective Order of Elks. That sounds interesting. Here we go. It is a U.S. fraternal order founded in 1868, originally as a social club in New York City. All right, so this is when they went from a social club into a fraternal order. All right, on this date anniversary. Okay, let's move on up here to 1876 as well. Sir Charles Gordon ended religious tolerance in Sudan. That's not nice. 1881, Spelman College was founded as Atlanta Baptist Female Seminary in the basement of Friendship Baptist Church in Atlanta. All right, so that college was founded as in a basement. Interesting. Got to start somewhere. 1888, the Concertgebouw in Amsterdam was inaugurated. What the heck is that? Let's check this out. Concertgebouw in Amsterdam. I wonder if it's a building or... Oh, okay. Ooh, that's a beautiful building. Wow. I gotta visit that one day. That is lovely. Whoa, it's on the street. Well, why does this look like it has a front lawn? Oh, there's a street. Okay. But man, that is wonderful. Moving up, 1890, Ellis Island in New York, it was designated as an immigration station. All right. 1891, 8-year-old Jewish tailor's daughter disappeared in Greece. A rumor spread that she was a Christian girl ritually killed by Jews. So, that's a wild accusation, but, truth is stranger than fiction. 1895, Anaheim completed its new electric light system. Oh, I know where Anaheim's at. 3 years later, in 1898, President McKinley asked for a Spanish-American War declaration. Yep. Going to war with Spain, over something very much akin to why can't I remember it? The Gulf of Tonkin thing that got us into Vietnam, which, mind you, in the 90s, a document was declassified stating explicitly that there was absolutely zero North Vietnamese Army or Navy or any involvement in that. It was a false flag to get us into the war. So, we tend to do that a lot. Spanish-American War, Vietnam, Korea, entering World War II, invading Iraq in 2003. All started by false flags. Not saying that people didn't die or something, but they're utilized, as ways to get people to support, a certain ideology. Anyway, let's move on up here. 1900, the first modern submarine designed and built by John Philip Holland was purchased by the U.S. Navy. John Philip Holman, first modern submarine. Let's check this out here. 1900. Let's see. Ah, okay. That's cool. I wonder if that's the actual submarine or if that's just a die-cast statue or what. Interesting. Small and... Yeah, I saw here, here we go, a diagram. Wow, so it's just one person. That's crazy. 1907, the New York Giants' future Baseball Hall of Fame backstop Roger Bresnan became the first catcher to wear shin guards. All right. Moving on up to 1912. Here we go. We've been talking about this, past couple of days. RMS Titanic left Queenstown, Ireland, for New York. So I believe the next time we're going to be talking about the Titanic is when the event happens. 1907. Actually, I got that one. Yeah. 1912 as well, the UK Parliament introduced an Irish Home Bill rule granting Ireland its own bicameral parliament and be required to send a representative to the British House of Commons. Protestants in Ulster resist. Alright. 1914, Mexican President Huerta broke off diplomatic relations with the U.S. Yikes. 1919, the International Labor Organization was founded. Alright. 1921, Iowa passed first state cigarette tax. So, if you want to smoke and toke and all that stuff, you got to pay a little bit of extra. 1921 as well, KDKA broadcast first radio sporting event. It was a boxing match between Ray and Dundee. While that was happening, the Emirate of Transjordan was created. Okay, that has to be in Jordan. So, 1924, first men's college swimming championships began. Alright. 1929, Leotfoon celluloid film system demonstrated in Amsterdam. What is that? Leotfoon celluloid film system. Okay, well, it's not going to give me a wiki right off the bat here. So, let's move on up. 1933, Hermann Göring became Premier of Prussia. And, I've been talking about this the past couple of days. When did Prussia become Germany? In 1871. So, why is it still talking about Prussia? This is very confusing. I need some assistance with that. Was Prussia around during World War II? East Prussia. Okay, so East Prussia. So it was still kind of around, I guess. I don't know. I don't know the exact, what is it, geography? I don't think it's, maybe it's geography, I don't know. Anyway, moving on up to 1939, Hungary left the League of Nations. Yep, and that's when the League of Nations was actually beginning to dissolve to form into the United Nations. 1943, Frank Piasecki, Vertol founder, flew his first single-rotor craft. Vertol. Huh. Let's check this out. Vertol, 1943. Boop. 1943. Okay, well, that's not a single rotor. And these are Chinooks. These are way past. 1943, Frank Piasecki. Okay. This one, maybe. No, that's... I don't know. Maybe this is it. Maybe this is it. I don't know. This has multiple rotors. Anyway, moving on up to 1945, the SS burns and shot 1,100 people at Gardelegen, probably just executing people who were in the camps and all that stuff. 1945 as well, U.S. troops conquered Mulheim, Oberhausen, Bochum, Unna, and Essen. Dang. 1951, U.S. President Harry Truman relieved General Douglas MacArthur of command in Korea, and that was a very big mistake. We should have listened to him. So, now we're on the precipice of losing everything. 1953, Oveda Cup hobby became first at Health, Education, and Welfare. What the hell does that even mean? Oveda Cup hobby became first at Health, Education, and Welfare. Let's just look up the entire article here. She became the first secretary and first woman of the new Department of Health, Education, and Welfare, which later became the Department of Health and Human Services. This was her second time organizing a new government agency. Okay, so let's do this. Let's just copy and paste. Hold on a second. Let me open up another one of these. Notepad. Here we go. Copy. Get rid of you. No, don't save. Where'd it go? Where'd she go? Oh, there she is. Okay. All right, there. There we go. Up to date. Let's move on up to 1953 as well. U.S. Department of Health, Education, and Welfare was created. All right. These two are linked, obviously. Yeah. 1955, chartered Air India plane Kashmir Princess was bombed and crashed into the South China Sea in a failed assassination attempt on Zhou Enlai by a Kuomintang secret agent. Not good. Do I have a live chat here? Nope. Just double checking. 1956, French government decided to send 200,000 reservists to Algeria. So whatever the French were doing in Algeria. Oh, the French Foreign Legion maybe. I don't know. We also have 1956 as well. Singer Nat King Cole was attacked on stage of Birmingham Theatre in racial incidents. That's not good. 1 year later, 1957, Britain agrees to Singaporean self-rule. Good. While that was happening, the Ryan X-13 Vertijet became the first jet to take off and land vertically. Nice. All the way in 1957, we had VTOL. That's wild. Check that out. Oh, vertically. Okay, I see. Wow, that's weird. How do you land like that? Huh. Because that's how it took off. It wasn't VTOL. Well, it technically was, but it wasn't like, a Harrier jet with a revolving engine. This was that's weird. How do you land, though? You know what? Hold on a second. I'm gonna do something that I normally do. Landing. Let's see if they have a video of it landing. Oh, God.
On December 10th, 1955, some 60 years before the...
Okay, well, this is a short, so I'm not going to play this entire thing. I'm just going to add this into the underbar of the description, and then I'll watch the rest of this. I don't want to take other people's content without their permission. I just don't like that. 1961, Bob Dylan made his first appearance at Folk City, Greenwich Village, New York City. Nice. 1957, where is he? Where is he? I thought he was going to be on... Okay. Wait. 1957? Oh, wait, no, that's 1961. Here he is. Okay. I'm dumb. There he is with his hat. I also have 1961 as well. Trial of Adolf Eichmann for war crimes in World War II began in Jerusalem, Israel. Alright. 1963, Milwaukee Braves future Baseball Hall of Fame pitcher Warren Spahn defeated New York Mets 6-1 for his 328th win, most by a left-hander in MLB history. Cool. 1963, Pope John the 23rd published encyclical Pacem in Terris, that peace between all peoples must be based on truth, justice, love, and freedom. Yes, 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 and yes. I agree. I 100% agree with you, Pope John the 23rd. 1965, 40 tornadoes struck U.S. Midwest, killing 272 people and injuring another 5,000. 40 tornadoes, wow, that's terrifying. 1966, 30th U.S. Masters Tournament, Augusta National Golf Club, or Golf Course. Jack Nicklaus became first back-to-back champion, winning an 18-hole Monday playoff with Tommy Jacobs and Gay Brewer. Huh, with a name like that, you'd think he'd be making some Bud Light or something with how things are going on with today's current events and all that stuff. 1966, Emmett Ashford became first black U.S. citizen Major League Baseball umpire in Washington Senators game against the Cleveland Indians at D.C. Stadium. And anybody who wants to sit there and be like, oh, it's called African American, yeah, it's like, well, you know what? Elon Musk is an African American and he's whiter than me. So, what does that have to say? It's not a term of color, it's a term of geography. 1966, Frank Sinatra recorded Strangers in the Night. Strangers in the Night. Single for his album of the same name, later reached #1 Billboard charts. Hell yeah, it did. 2 years later, U.S. President Lyndon B. Johnson, in 1968, signed the 1968 Civil Rights Act, which entails what? Let's look that up here real quick. It expanded on previous acts and prohibited discrimination concerning the sale, rental, and financing of housing based on race, religion, national origin, gender, as amended, handicap, and family status. Title 8 of the Act is also known as the Fair Housing Act of 1968. Okay, so this is quite a bit of stuff to chew on here. For further reading on that subject matter, please refer to the underbar of the description below. Whoopsie doodle. Okay, let's see here. Okay, there we go. That's it. Alright. Moving on up to 1970. Apollo 13 was launched to the moon. It was unable to land and return in 6 days later. Yeah, this is when Apollo 13 launched. Very significant. I don't know why it is not highlighted by a primary source, but, you know, whatever. We're currently working on a remedy to the situation. But yeah. Houston, we have a problem. Anybody who hasn't seen Apollo 13 movie with Tom Hanks, please go see it after this video, of course, preferably. But it is a really good movie, and it's more or less pretty much historically accurate. Like, Hollywood back in the day, when they based something off of real events, they didn't embellish too much. Today, though, it is just a laughing stock. Anyway, 1972, Benjamin Hooks named to Federal Communications Commission, FCC, first black U.S. citizen to serve. Nice. 1976, the Apple I computer, created by Steve Wozniak, the Woz, was released. Alright. 1977, Ireland set fishing zone at 50 miles. Okay, I guess that's within their the waters that they have governance over or something, whatever the word is. Non-international waters, so to speak. 1977, Tanzanian army captured Kampala, the capital of Uganda, forcing Uganda dictator Idi Amin to flee into exile in Libya. You coward. 1980, Equal Employment Opportunity Commission regulated sexual harassment. Yeah, a bit one-sided, though. So, 1981, Ronald Reagan arrived home from hospital after Hinckley shot him. And glad he was well after that. Well, Reagan at least. 1983, in the first Supergrass trial in Northern Ireland, 14 Ulster Volunteer Force members were jailed for a total of 200 years. What? Supergrass trial. What is a Supergrass trial? Let's look this up here. U.VF Supergrass trial. Okay. Here is a link from the BBC, the British Broadcasting Corporation, not the internet form of the BBC, which they certainly act like one. But go away advertisement. So yeah, if you want to learn more about this thing, which I certainly do, but I don't have the time in the show to read it for you. We got to move on up to 1984. Challenger astronauts completed their first in-space satellite repair. Nice. Remember, I believe it was yesterday we reported on an article that talked about Space Shuttle grabbing a satellite, probably to put it back into its payload, and then get back onto Earth and repair it down on the surface. But this is the first time that they repaired a satellite in space, and I don't know why that isn't highlighted, because that's really significant right there. Anyway, moving on up to 1986. Actually, no, 1984 as well. Chinese troops invaded Vietnam. I didn't know that. So, yeah. Okay. 1986, a 1921 Canadian 50-cent coin was auctioned in New York for $22,000. Wow, that's a lot of money for a coin, for a 50-cent coin. 1986 as well. Dodge Morgan sailed solo non-stop around the world in 150 days. Alright, that's quite a feat. 1986, Halley's Comet made closest approach to Earth this trip at 63 million kilometers. I believe that's what that is. 1989, first playoff goal scored by a goalie was Ron Hextall of Philadelphia. Alright. Nice. 1990, customs officers in Middlesbrough, United Kingdom, say they have seized what they believe to be the barrel of a massive gun on a ship bound for Iraq. That's right. Saddam Hussein was trying to follow in the footsteps of Hitler and build a giant gun. I believe that has been proven factual. I saw a video a while ago, like a year or so ago, about that. But I believe that's true. 1901, Miss Saigon, created by Claude Michel Schonenberg and Alain Boublil, opened at Broadway Theater in New York City. While that was happening, New York City's Museum of Broadcasting became the Museum of Radio and Television. And while that was happening as well, UN Security Council issued formal ceasefire with Iraq declaration. I believe this is before Operation Desert Shield and Storm and all that stuff. 1993, 450 prisoners riot at the Southern Ohio Correctional Facility in Lucasville, Ohio, and continued for 10 days, citing grievances about prison conditions and the forced vaccination of Nation of Islam prisoners for tuberculosis. Yep. Well, you know what? If you break a crime, if you break a law, and not necessarily all laws should exist. Because remember, Nazism was legal, apartheid was legal. Just because something is a law doesn't make it right. But for the most part, people are in there for a pretty universally accepted grievance. Robbery, aggravated assault. Struggle, snuggle, murder. Any sort of things. If you're in there, you're in there for a reason, and you've surrendered your rights as a human being by not acting like one. So, I mean, I don't know. Prisoners should not have any rights. That's just me. But we got to reform the prison system before we go on with that idea to begin with. So, 1996, revival of Rodgers and Hammerstein's musical The King and I, starring Lou Diamond Phillips and Donna Murphy, premiered at Neil Simon Theater in New York City, running for 781 performances. That's pretty good. Jumping on up into the next millennium, 2001, a detained crew of a United States EP-3AE aircraft that landed in Henan, People's Republic of China, after a collision with a J-8 fighter were released. Good. 2006, Iranian President Mohammad Ahmadinejad announced that Iran has successfully enriched uranium, and that is terrifying. 2010, the night of Sora Aoi, Japanese porn actress Sora Aoi joined Twitter, prompting many Chinese fans to try and circumnavigate Chinese censorship. Yep, that happened, all for porn. You know, everybody got to get their rocks off somehow. 2013, fossilized dinosaur eggs with embryos are discovered in China, and take that with a grain of salt. Remember, it is China. You know, they could just be manufacturing something to try to shoehorn themselves in the history book in an invalid, creation. 2013 as well, 2 women were beheaded for sorcery in Bougainville, Papua New Guinea. What? Sorcery? We're still doing that crap? She's a witch, she can do math. Burn her, burn her. 2015, Barack Obama and Raul Castro met in Panama. This was the first meeting of U.S. and Cuban heads of state since the Cuban Revolution. Wow. So, what a crappy way to start it with this piece of crap. 2019, ex-Pope Benedict XVI claimed Catholic sexual abuse caused in part by 1960s sexual revolution. I agree with that. I don't want to sound like, a prude person, but, maybe there is something to, claiming all of that rock and roll hip gyration was the devil. Because look at society now. Everything just kind of gone to complete shit. 2019 as well, first day of voting in Indian general elections, the world's largest democracy, with 900 million eligible voters in the world's largest ever election, lasted until May 23rd. Wow. That's quite a long time there. 2019 as well, Israel's Bereshit spacecraft, the first privately funded mission to the moon, crashed on the moon. Oh, of course it's Israel. It's not enough that they're, an extremely hostile country, constantly missiling Palestine, but now they're shooting the moon? Really? We gotta stop them. 2019, Sudanese President Omar al-Bashir was overthrown and arrested by the army of Khartoum after 29 years in power. Good. Better late than never, at least. 2019 as well, WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange was forcibly removed from the Ecuadorian embassy in London by police and arrested on failure to appear in court on U.S. extradition charges. All because we did a lot of back alley shadow government things with the embassy he was in there for Ecuador. Julian Assange is a hero to mankind, and he should be treated as such. All the stuff happening to him is nothing more than schoolyard bullies abusing their power for their own personal means and gain. It's that simple. Julian Assange, if you're still alive, Godspeed. If you're not, well, Godspeed even more. But I have a feeling he's being tortured constantly. So, anyway, moving on up to 2020, Farm Aid at Home held virtually. Performers included Willie Nelson, John Mellencamp, Neil Young, Dave Matthews, Black Pumas, Bonzi Wright, Bose Skaggs, Brandy Carlisle, Chris Stapleton, Eddie Brickall, Jack Johnson, and John Batiste. Dang. And I believe that might have been hosted on Zoom or something, if anybody remembers that. Man, that thing was a flash in the pan, wasn't it? 2021, 20-year-old Dante Wright was shot and killed at a traffic stop by a police officer in Brooklyn Center, Minnesota, who said they mistook their gun for a taser. Oh yeah, I remember this. So it's already been 2 years since then. Taser, 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 blam! 2022, mayor of Ukrainian city Mariupol said over 10,000 civilians have died in the Russian siege, with the likely death toll twice this, as bodies are, quote, carpeted through the streets, end quote. And I have a feeling that this is more propaganda, because, reasons. Anyway, I have not been keeping up with the visuals on this side, so I apologize. I gotta get back on that. When it's a one-man show, it's difficult to do everything, But anyway, moving on up, before we move on up into Burst and Deaths, audience, were there any articles that grabbed your attention more than most? Anything you wish we had elaborated more about? Anything you would have liked to say had you been here? Start a dialogue in the comments section. Let's move on up here into Bursts. Starting us off in 146, we have Septimius Severus, was an emperor of Rome from 193 through 211, born in Leptis Magna, modern-day Libya. Alright. 1638, Diogo Dias Melgas, Portuguese composer of sacred polyphonic music, born in Cuba, Alentejo, Portugal. Huh. What the heck is polyphonic? I have not heard that term before. Let's check this out here. Polyphony in music, the simultaneous combination of two or more tones or melodic lines. The term derives from the Greek word for many sounds. Thus, even a single interval made up of two simultaneous tones or a chord of three simultaneous tones is rudimentary polyphonic. Interesting. Those are some big words that I had some trouble with right there. Let's move on up. We have 1746, Wentworth Cheswell, a U.S. author and teacher, or actually American author and teacher before the U.S., who became the first black U.S. citizen elected to public office in the U.S. Born in Newmarket, New Hampshire. Nice. 1755, James Parkinson, English physician, first description of Parkinson's disease, and political activist, born in Shoreditch, London. 1755. Why is he not highlighted? That's very big. Parkinson's disease. If anybody, everybody's a fan of Back to the Future. Anyway, 1746. We have Wentworth. 98. I'm all over the place. Massimo Melloni, Italian physicist, radiant light, born in Parma, Italy. We got Henry Rawlinson, 1810, a British Army officer and Oriental scholar, major role in deciphering cuneiform, born in Chadlington, England. And cuneiform is a type of text. And let's see if there's going to be a Wikipedia to this. If anybody does not know, here we go. Cuneiform is a logosyllabic script that was used to write several languages of the ancient Middle East. The script was in active use from the early Bronze Age until the beginning of the Common Era. It is named for the characteristic wedge-shaped impressions which formed its signs. Cuneiform. All right. So, yeah, anybody interested in learning a little bit more about that, there you go. Check the underbar of the description below. 1810, we got that. 1837, Elmer E. Ellsworth, U.S. soldier who was the first Union officer killed in the American Civil War, born in Malta, New York. Well, rest in peace. Thank you for your service. 1862, William Wallace Campbell, U.S. astronomer and director of Lick Observatory, born in Hancock County, Ohio. Lick Observatory, what? It's still around. Lick Observatory is an astronomical observatory owned and operated by the University of California. It's out here. It is on the summit of Mount Hamilton in the Diablo Range just east of San Jose, California, U.S. Okay, hold on a second. Where is it? Maps. Let's see where it's at. So I'm going to add this link here to the underbar real quick. Hold on. Whoops. Where is this? Okay. Lick Observatory. Okay. So it's up there. Alright. So that's where it's at. Huh. Cool. Come on. There we go. Nice. That's a small little observatory. Let's move on up. Who else was born on this date? 1865, we have Mary White Ovington, a U.S. journalist, suffragist, and co-founder of the NAACP, which is the National American Advancement of Colored People, which you think the term colored people wouldn't be around anymore. I don't even like saying that. Yeah, apparently it's all right for them to say any word under the sun, but, anybody else says it, it's no. That's not how life works, but they seem to think that. Anyway, born in Hancock County, Ohio. Born in Brooklyn, New York. There we go. 1866, Clara Ford, U.S. suffragette supporter and wife of industrialist Henry Ford, born in Wayne County, Michigan. 1865, Kasturba Gandhi, wife of Mahatma Gandhi, born in Gujarat, India. 1879, Leendert Round, Dutch sculptor, entrance of Rotterdam Zoo. Let's check this out. Rotterdam Zoo. Entrance of Rotterdam Zoo. Let's see. Get rid of that. Give me this. Huh. Okay. That's cool. So So he made that. All right. Cool. We have 1890, Donna Rochelle Mussolini, wife of Italian dictator Benito Mussolini, born in Predapipio, Romagna, Kingdom of Italy. Huh. And I just realized I hadn't cleaned up the entire script here, so let me do this here real quick. So, put up, save that. 1899, we have Percy Lavon Julian, black U.S. chemist who received 130 patents, pioneer in the chemical synthesis of medicinal drugs from plants, born in Montgomery, Alabama. Dang, that's pretty significant there. We have somebody else here who was doing medicine stuff of a nature I didn't even think was possible outside of science fiction, and we'll get to him in a second here. He lived to be like 102 years old or something. Anyway, 1907, Ivor Spencer Thomas, English farmer, entrepreneur, and inventor, born in Laney My Neck, Powys. What? All right. What are his inventions, though? Let's check this out here. Why can't... There we go. Inventions. One of his inventions was fizzles, a means of making sparkling wine from still wine. He also developed Cham Cham, a polyethylene packet that generated carbon dioxide and put the fizz into water and other still drinks. Huh. Okay. Well, that's cool. Too bad he doesn't have a wiki. Do we have more about Spencer Thomas? Okay. Alright. Anyway, let's move on up. 1908, Jan Boleyn, the first black U.S. citizen female judge, born in Poughkeepsie, New York. Pardon me. 1916, Howard W. Koch, a U.S. producer and director of Frankenstein and Airplane 2, born in New York City, New York. Yeah, Airplane 2, the sequel. 1923, Theodore Isaac Rubin, U.S. Psychiatrist and author credited with popularizing psychotherapy, born in Brooklyn, New York City. 1925, Pierre Pilaudou, Canadian businessman and founder of Quebecor, born in Montreal. 1928, Ethel Kennedy, U.S. human rights campaigner, also wife of Bobby Kennedy, born in Chicago, Illinois. 1930, Anton LaVey, U.S. founder of the Church of Satan, born in Chicago, Illinois. Well, that explains it. 1931, Kiyoshi Sugiyama, Japanese video game composer, Dragon Quest, born in Tokyo. 1933, Dennis Goldberg, South African anti-apartheid activist, convicted alongside Nelson Mandela, born in Cape Town, died unfortunately in 2020. So not all Goldbergs are bad. So, yeah. 1935, Richard Berry, U.S. doo-wop bass vocalist and songwriter, born in Extension, Louisiana. That's a weird name for a city, Extension. I wonder if they were just an extension to another city. And yeah, if you've ever seen the movie Animal House, the song Louie Louie, this is the vocalist and songwriter, I believe, of that song. 1935 as well, we have Richard Kuklinski, U.S. Mafia hitman, born in Jersey City, New Jersey. 1943, John Montagu, 11th Earl of Sandwich, British entrepreneur, politician, and nobleman. I want to be an Earl of Sandwich. That sounds delicious. 1944, John Milius, U.S. screenwriter of Red Dawn, 1941, and Big Wednesday, born in St. Louis, Missouri. Dang. Red Dawn, really good movie. 1947, Peter Riegart, U.S. actor in Animal House, speaking of Animal House, and Crossing Delancey, born in New York City, New York. Who was he in Animal House? Let's see. Let me just bring his name up, see if I recognize him. Okay, that's kind of familiar. Oh, him! Okay, that was him. Alright. I recognize him now. Anyway, 1951, James Patrick Kelly, U.S. sci-fi author, Think Like a Dinosaur, born in Manola, New York. Roar! 1951, James Patrick Kelly, U.S. got that one. 1953, Andrew Wiles, British mathematician, number theory, proved Fermat's last theorem, born in Cambridge, England. So, Fermat's last theorem. Let's check this out here. Fermat's last theorem, also called Fermat's Great Theorem, the statement that there are no natural numbers, 1, 2, 3, x, y, and z, and such that x, n, y, and z, n, in which n is a natural number greater than 2. Okay. Let's just add this here to the underbar of the description. Alright. Moving on up to 1955, we have Neville Staple, English ska singer, The Specials, Ghost Town, and Free Nelson Mandela, born in Manchester, Jamaica. 1958, Brian Hartman, U.S. actress and murderer, born in Thief River Falls, Minnesota. Okay, well, born in Thief River Falls, ended up being a murderer, so I guess she killed somebody while trying to steal something? I don't know, maybe. 1960, Jeremy Clarkson. I am way behind the times here. 62 years old today. Where are you? He is an English motoring journalist, broadcaster, and TV presenter. Top Gun and Top Gear, and the Grand Tour. Born in Doncaster, England. All right, yeah, good old Jeremy Clarkson. 1966, Steve Bullock, U.S. politician, governor of Montana from 2013 until present, I believe. Born in Missoula, Montana. 1971, Oliver Reidel, German musician, Rammstein, born in Schwerin, Germany. 1972, Balls Mahoney, a.k.a. Jonathan Reacher, U.S. professional wrestler, born in Spring Lake Heights, New Jersey. 1974, Tricia Helfer, Canadian model and actress in Battlestar Galactica 2004 through 2009, born in Donalda, Alberta. Yeah. Alright, hold on a second. I don't know why her name is double posted here. Oops. Yep, there you go. So here's Oliver Reindel of Rammstein, and here's Teresa Helfer. And then 1979, we have Josh Server, a U.S. actor in All That, born in Highland Park, Illinois. Alright, let's bring this guy up here real quick. Josh Server. All That. Who was he in All That, though? Hold on. All That. Oh, we played Earboy. Okay. Alright, now I know who he is. Huh. Anyway, let's move on up into deaths. Starting us off in 678. And actually, I'm going to make a meme joke here. Be careful who you call ugly in high school, because they might just grow up to be somebody that you don't know. Anyway, 678, Donis, Italian Pope, from 676 through 78, died. Okay. 1856, Juan Santa Maria, national hero of Costa Rica. 1875, Heinrich Schwab, a discoverer, 11-year sunspot cycle. All right. 1890, Joseph Merrick, the Elephant Man, died of asphyxia at the age of 27. I'm not even going to bring a picture up of him because it's really, really sad. We also have 1906, James Anthony Bailey, a U.S. circus ringmaster and showman, Barnum and Bailey, died at 58. 1926, Luther Burbank, a U.S. horticulturalist who developed more than 800 strains and varieties of plants, died of gastrointestinal complications at 77. Edward Ted de Corsia, 1973, U.S. actor in The Naked City, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, died at the age of 69. I wanted to look this guy up earlier. Who was he? Images. 20,000... No, come on. 20,000 Leagues. Who was he in 20,000 Leagues? Oh, the captain. Or not the captain, but the officer dude. Or I guess the captain of the ship that got attacked at the beginning. Okay. Who else do we have? 1993, Janet Harmon Bragg, U.S. pilot, first female black aviator to hold the commercial's pilot license. Nice. Died at 86. That's unfortunate. This one is really sad. 1996, Jessica Dubroff, a U.S. aviator attempting to become the youngest person to fly a light utility aircraft across the United States, crashed at the age of 7 years old. A moment of silence for her. That's just, at 7, that's... man. 1996 as well, Louis Osman, British artist, goldsmith, architect, and craftsman, died at the age of 82. 2005, Maurice R. Hillman, a U.S. microbiologist who developed over 36 vaccines, including measles, mumps, hepatitis A, hepatitis B, chickenpox, meningitis, and pneumonia, to name a few, died at the age of 85. Wow. 2006, we have Proof, a.k.a. Deshaun Holton, a U.S. rapper, D12, shot to death in a billiard game dispute at 32. Well, alright. 2008, Merlin German, U.S. Marine. 2009, Corin Telado, a Spanish romance novelist, sold the most books in Spanish, 400 million, died at 81. Wow. 2012, Ahmed Ben Bella, Algerian politician, first president of Algeria in 1963 through 65, died at 93. 2013, Jonathan Winters, U.S. comedian, The Jonathan Winters Show. I am like way behind the times on this. I gotta get back on. I get a little involved in one script over the other. Yeah, here we go. Jonathan Winters. The Jonathan Winters Show and Mork and Mindy died from natural causes at 87. 2016, Emile Ford, Caribbean-born British singer and engineer, first black male singer to top UK charts, died from natural causes at 87. That's a rarity. 2016, died at 78. Jonathan Winters died of natural causes. So, 2017, Jay Giles, aka John Warren Giles Jr., U.S. rock guitarist, Jay Giles Band, Centerfold, died at 71. And 2018, Mitzi Shore, Lillian Sayadaw, U.S. owner of the Comedy Store and founder of the Comedy Channel, died at 87. May you rest in peace. 2019, Francis Swim Anderson, U.S. technologist, nuclear medicine, died at 105. This is what I was talking about earlier. I wonder if the nuclear medicine extended his age. That'd be interesting. And then 2019, we have Monkey Punch, a.k.a. Kazuhiko Kato, a Japanese manga artist, cartoonist. Lupin III died of pneumonia at 81. I remember that cartoon. Anyway, that shall conclude the show. Once again, you can check the underbar of the description for any links you may find interesting, including but not limited to all things OMNI Coalition. For your dose of past events daily, we stream every day at 10 in the morning Pacific Time, which is 11 Mountain, 12 Central, and 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Before you go, I have an announcement. We are going to be making the Twitch switch at some point tomorrow afternoon, most likely. So we're going to still be streaming on this channel until Thursday. Until tomorrow. Thursday we'll probably be switching to Twitch. We still will be uploading onto this. Please check the underbar of the description below for any links you may find interesting, including but unlimited to all things OMNI Coalition, which in itself includes a lot of links. I've added in a lot of stuff. So yeah, go check all that stuff out. Anyway, for your dose of past events daily, we stream every day at 10 in the morning Pacific Time, blah blah blah. For all of you and all of us, I am Xander, and you are you, and until you catch us tomorrow, or if you're interested in some notable events, weather, and sports, Talk This, the OMNI Coalition news show, is coming on up here in a couple of hours at 2 p.m. Pacific Time. Anyway, until then, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe.